And every single day,
the more enemies we kill.
We're spending trillions and trillions of dollars.
You know, people say, all right, this is your fault.
It's not your fault.
All I know is you're not selling anything.
The Fed's not done, and I'm going to tell you why.
Welcome back to Sean's Show, episode 21. It's great to be back in the studio. It's cold outside, but we're here. We're doing it. Hope you had a great New Year's Eve. I'm here as always with my producer, Josh Cabaza. Hello, Josh.
Hey, everybody.
I'm not going to say anything about what just happened. Josh, okay. Just Josh.
Josh had a glow up.
Josh basically Hollywooded me. He Hollywood, you know, and I hate to like throw him under the bus like this because we're longtime friends. I really don't want to like a lot of podcasts. What they end up being is like drama between the people that do the show, and that becomes the product.
Yeah,
a lot of comedy podcasts. It's like he said what, and the thumbnail is like me with making an O face, like oh, you know, and then you watch it because you're like, oh my god, what did Jared say to Jack? You see what Jared said last week, dude? And then they turn into like the like a budget version of the Kardashians.
Yeah. And
I don't want this show to stoop to that level. We are a news show. We cover the news objectively, ruthlessly, and without bias.
No biases here.
I am the least biased man on earth. People have said that about me. To quote Trump, I'm the least biased man on earth. But I mean, it's, but we have to keep it real. I have to speak the truth, especially in my personal life. Josh Hollywooded me. A lot of the time when you see in entertainment, I don't blame him. I don't even blame him, dude. I don't blame him because he's coming up. Hey, I get it. Like you bigger comics, they scoop you up and I get it. It's like, he just has more important things to do. You know, ever since he started hanging out with his newborn child.
Yeah.
He like, doesn't give a fuck about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know when you like are friends with someone or you're hanging out with someone and then you just kind of see them less and less and then you see like their Instagram story and you're like, oh, okay, like I see what's up.
Yeah.
You know? That's what happened with Josh and his 4-year-old child.
Yeah.
4-day-old child. And so I texted Josh, I'm like, hey man, like, do you still want to do this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, hey man, like, I get that your wife gave birth. I get that you're still at the hospital, but it's like you're using the hospital as an excuse to not produce the show.
Yeah.
You're making work for yourself. You're making work. I texted Josh. I was like, Josh, did you give birth? Did you go through the labor? No. You sat there. You could have been sitting here.
So not a fan of paid time off for the fathers? Is that
it's paternity leave is a liberal scum policy that I don't support. Paternity leave is called communism.
Yeah.
That is socialism. That is communism. It's AOC. It's AOC propaganda. You know, and it's something that I can't support. When a father leaves to support the mother, what you're telling the world is I don't want to provide for my family. What you're telling the world is I love being at home.
Yeah.
And, you know, changing diapers when I should be outside going for the kill.
Yeah.
You know, building another private prison, going for that kill, going on producing another podcast.
Yeah, Josh really should be here because, I mean, you've known him longer than he's known his kid.
I've known Josh. I knew him before his first kid. He didn't know that I knew him. I knew about him, though. And again, I don't want to spend the whole show talking about drama because we're not a show about drama. But the fans, thousands of people listen to this.
Yeah.
That's lie number one.
Yeah.
50 people listen to the show, and they're going to they are naturally going to wonder what happened to my favorite podcast, you know, when they listen to Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
No, when they listen to this, they'll be like, what's going on? Something's different. Something changed. And they don't see a Latino guy in the producer seat. Are you Latino, Andrew?
I mean, I could grow out my mustache. I have a very Spanish, doesn't grow in the middle mustache.
Yeah.
But it looks terrible.
I'll tell you what. You come back in a bomber jacket with like a Harley logo sewed on it. And is
that what Josh used to wear? I just become Josh.
You just become Josh. Put on 50 pounds. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Put on 100 pounds.
Challenge accepted.
So that's what's going on. No, Josh will be back soon. Check. Okay, we're back. Again, guys, this is episode 21. The show is bad on purpose.
Yeah.
The show is bad. People wonder, like, people message me, they go, Sean, like, why is your show so bad? Why don't the cables work?
Yeah.
What happened to your Latino producer who I loved?
Yeah. Why am I holding this in my hand?
And I go, number one, don't DM me. Number two, if you do DM me, don't complain about the quality of the show. The quality, let me put it to you this way. Everything on the show is intentional. Everything on the screen is intentional. Every fucking pixel is intentional. If the mic cuts out, that's part of the show. It's planned. And so for you to be like, why isn't the show better quality? It really shows how retarded you are and how much you don't understand art.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our first topic of the day. A woman who not only doesn't understand art, but can't create her own. President Gay.
President Gay?
President Gay. And I'm not talking about Joe Biden. I'm talking about the president of Harvard University. President Gay is out. She is out.
She stepped out.
She stepped out. So she resigned. And a lot of people are happy about this. I am not. Because when I see a black queen fall like this, it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. She's a black queen. And
how progressive.
I mean, you can call it what you want, Andrew. It's a tragedy is what it is. They went after her. Hey, here's a news flash. Who has not plagiarized something? Did you ever plagiarize anything, Andrew?
I mean, probably, but
did you go to college?
For too long.
Too long. What'd you study again?
I was in psychology, but I got my A degree in psychology. It took me 5 years because I didn't know I was getting it.
Okay.
And then
I don't want to zoom in on that at all.
and then
you didn't know that you were getting it, or like you were undecided.
So I had taken so many psych classes as electives while I was taking like coding classes or like biology courses.
That you like qualified for the AA in psychology.
Yeah, so I went to the counselor's
You're just
office.
padding your schedule with shit, and you're like, and then the psych board dean comes up like, Andrew, congrats, man. Who the fuck are you? I'm in like CS 202 right now.
Yeah, so I went to the counselor's office. I was like, hey, I've been here for like 5 years. I have 120 credits. I was like, hey, like there's a degree in there somewhere. And they're like, yeah, you actually have a psychology degree.
Yeah, they're like, actually, after year one, you had your AA in psych. Like you like clearly have a passion for this. And you're like, so, but psychology that whole field is plagiarized.
Yeah.
The whole field of psychology is like astrology for like liberal men.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's the whole, I mean, what did you even learn about? Like how people behave? Like serial killers and shit?
No. Well, one class that I really took a lot from was an evolutionary psychology course, which is like the evolutionary reasons for why you feel what you're feeling. And like the one big takeaway was
that's cool.
The reason why you feel horny is because that's supposed to motivate you to talk to people that you're interested in having sex with. And when you watch porn, then you're not horny anymore. And then it's really anxious talking with women, but you're supposed to be so horny that you're like, screw it, I'm just going to go for it.
Well, that was a lot of anti-porn rhetoric that I really didn't appreciate. Did you just spew? You just spewed anti-porn rhetoric all over my show. You just jizzed a bunch of anti-porn rhetoric. You just came anti-porn jizz all over my show.
I sure did.
My listeners love porn. And I will defend their right to watch porn until the day they die, which will be alone, surrounded by no one.
Yes.
Because they can't fuck.
Yes.
Because they watch too much porn.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. ED from porn, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Is that real?
Yeah. Yeah, I get that sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like, well, it's like ED is when you're like, is ED like when you're soft, or is it when you can't come? Or you can't get hard? Is ED just when you can't get hard? Because the erections are not that, this is a news show. Erections are not that simple.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be fucking for 4 hours, ladies, I'm taking.
Yeah.
And I won't be able to come. Does that count as ED?
Technically, yes, but I'd say for most women, they wouldn't consider that a problem.
Is that not a good thing for her or him or them?
I mean, it depends, because like some women, they kind of get like turned on when you get off.
Right.
They're like, oh, like I was this hot, like my pussy was this good or whatever. So like when you can't come, like it can be a problem. Yeah.
Guys, I have to apologize. Usually Josh would steer the conversation back to the story, but Andrew's a little bit less seasoned.
Yeah.
And he's dived into this really vile subject. Dude, I hate talking about other podcasts. Have you seen that one podcast where it's like 4 alpha males and then like 4 OnlyFans bitches?
Yeah.
And then the guys are just like, why are you such a fucking slut whore? And the women are like on their phone, they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then they're like, just the most insane takes on dating and gender. Why do people feel the need to have such insane takes on dating and sexuality and gender?
Yeah.
No one cares. I don't care. People are like, what does it mean to you to find a high value man? What is a high value man to you? And it's like some like dumb bitch.
Yeah.
Like some like blonde bimbo, trust fund bimbo. I don't care what she thinks a high value man is.
Yeah.
And a high value man doesn't exist.
Yeah.
My only take on dating, people have tastes and preferences that are different.
Yeah.
And and any layer deeper you go when it comes to dating and sexuality, you're literally making up lies.
Yeah.
A high value man has money and has a job and loves you deeply and is able to resolve I actually do believe all this stuff.
Yeah.
And that being said, a high value man loves you and shows that he loves you. But things like when you start to talk about love languages, give me a fucking break. Love languages.
Yeah, I do a bit on that. That's a thing only women have.
Yeah. You have a great joke on that.
Yeah.
That I was about to steal. If Josh was here, I would have stolen that.
Yeah.
You'd be listening like,
you
would
have plagiarized.
I would have plagiarized.
Yeah.
Which brings us back to Harvard, the capital, the plagiarism capital of the universe.
Yeah.
Apparently. And look, she's getting a lot of hate. President Gay, she's getting a lot of hate because apparently there's a lot of so in her PhD thesis, there was a paragraph. If you're unfamiliar, there was a paragraph, and you might be wondering, like, why are we even talking about the president of Harvard? It's because the president of Harvard came out in support of Hamas.
Yeah.
The president Gay is in Hamas. She's like, she tweeted, she was like, she came out, she was like, not only do I support our students who want to stand up for Palestine on Harvard's campus, I am also in the process of helping Hamas dig tunnels from the Harvard University to Gaza.
Yeah.
And so, look, a lot of people are criticizing President Gay. Hey, they're saying like maybe President Gay, you shouldn't be involved in helping Hamas operatives escape Gaza into Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Maybe building a tunnel from like Yale and Harvard and Princeton and building a network of tunnels over from the Middle East to those Ivy League universities is not maybe a good thing.
Yeah.
And President Gay came out and said, yes, that actually is a good thing. It's just, here's the thing. A lot of corporations, universities people say that they're becoming more political.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that's such a lie. I think a lot of new things that emerge are just, they feel new, but they feel new, but they're not new. They're things that have been relabeled.
Yeah.
You know, corporations have always been political. They're more in your face about it now, right? Universities have always been political.
Well, Were they as cultural? Like were they taking stances like on just like issues between like people and not like government issues?
That's a good question. I mean, you know what the difference is that now they can tweet.
Yeah.
Now that brands can tweet, they really like that was a mistake.
Yeah.
That was a big mistake in human society, is allowing corporations to tweet.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I get like behind closed doors, like Hershey's probably always been trying to get the water, but like
Yeah, or Nestle.
yeah, but like publicly facing companies, were they always like oh, like what was Hershey? did they create like a half white, half black chocolate bar? Said interracial marriage should be
A half gay chocolate bar.
Yeah.
A gay chocolate bar. That's all chocolate bars.
Yeah.
If you eat a chocolate bar, you're gay. You know who else is gay? President Gay. I'm very gay that President Gay resigned.
Yeah.
That made me gay
yeah.
in the happy way. Like, I'm happy.
Yes.
I'm gay. I am gay that she's gone.
Yeah.
So let's just look at the bullet points for this story. So she was the first black person and only the second woman to serve as Harvard's president, holding that post for just over 6 months. So it was the shortest term in the Harvard president history.
Yeah.
Gay is the second Ivy League leader to step down after controversy over testimony, which were you there for that? Or was that was Josh was producing. But did you see that? That was ultra viral story of like the congresswoman. She was like, does anti-Semitism constitute bullying on Harvard's campus?
Yeah.
And then they all went like, it depends on the context.
Yeah.
Or it was like, does calling for genocide?
Yeah.
And I will say, the way she asked it was very annoying.
Yeah.
She asked it like an angry, like a girlfriend fighting with you.
Yeah.
She said it like a girlfriend yelling, like criticizing you really harshly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she said it in that tone. She was like, does calling for genocide on Harvard's campus constitute bullying on your campus? It's like the same as if she was saying like, why don't you ever spend time with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't you text me where you are? I need to know where you are.
Yeah, it depends on the context.
And the answer's the same. Look, It depends. It depends on the context. That actually is a bit I was doing on stage for a while where like it's the way it's funny that when people get grilled by Congress,
yeah,
they have these ways that they react to the congressperson.
Yeah.
And they just get away with it.
Yeah.
Like the congressperson will be like, didn't you slaughter hundreds of kids in Cambodia to fund whatever,
yeah,
and then create a factory where now all of our T-shirts are made, and H&M T-shirts are made,
yeah,
and then they'll be like, then the H&M CEO will be like, look, I mean, we continue to look at Cambodia, and they go, I think we continue to like think about how we're operating there, and we're I'm happy to have my team follow up. You can't do that with your girlfriend. Your girlfriend's like, did you slaughter a bunch of kids in Cambodia? You can't be like, look, I think I'm continuing to look at that.
Yeah, yeah.
That situation. I think I'm continuing to monitor it.
Yeah.
We're monitoring it. Anytime someone says we continue, they're about to lie to your face.
Yeah.
We continue. Because who's we? First of all, who's we?
Yeah.
And who's continuing?
Yeah.
You're continuing? Your team?
Yeah.
We? It's an easy way to dodge it. It's an easy, and also the word continue. Continue implies that you already did work.
Yeah.
You're doing work now.
Yeah.
And you're going to do work in the future.
Yeah.
That's such a succinct way to bullshit people.
Yeah, I forget where I heard this, but somebody said like a politician's job is to use as many words to say nothing at all, and a comedian's job is to say as many things in as few words as possible. So
that's a good, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, one of my favorite jokes of all time. Why say lot word when few do trick?
What?
No, that's Kevin from The Office. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
That's one of the storylines from an episode. They're like, Kevin's talking like a retard.
Yeah.
He's like, Kevin's like, I'm just being more. He's like, I'm more efficient now. So funny. How's that, guys? Other writers' jokes on this show. That's what we do.
Plagiarism.
Yeah. Okay. I cheated through my whole degree.
Yeah.
Both of them, aerospace and math. I cheated through both my degrees. I'd do it again, because everyone knows that getting a degree is not about gaining knowledge. It is about, if anything, it's about learning to cheat.
Yeah.
I learned to cheat the system so effectively and with so much, so shamelessly that and I won. I cheated my way through the degree and they gave it to me.
Yeah.
And it set me up for what would have been a very illustrious and exciting career on Wall Street.
Yeah.
And I avoided that because I don't like money. I like suffering.
Yes.
You know, and I like Latino producers that betray me.
Me too.
That's the title of this episode. My Latino producer betrayed me.
Backstabbing Latino ass producers.
Well, no. Well, yes,
Yeah.
but you know, not all Latinos backstab.
Yeah.
That's not what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's Latinos and Asians.
Yes.
So, but not President Gay. So, I don't know. This to me is a non-story. I mean, I don't even know how interested I am in. Does anyone care about this? Like, let's be honest. Like, does anyone care about the president of Harvard resigning? I don't give a fuck.
I mean, for plagiarism, it's like, yeah, calling for the genocide of Jews. You really got to quote your sources with that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was her PhD about? Let's find out. Can you guys hear the rain in the background? That's kind of pretty.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that more often.
There's a huge storm going on.
There's a huge storm going on in Los Angeles, which is where we're recording from.
Yeah.
So here's a quote from President Gay. "This is not a decision I came to easily. Indeed, it has been a difficult..." Okay, here's a... Sorry, let me start over. Here's a statement from President Gay on her resignation that I think everyone should really know because it's important to hear her out.
Yeah.
"This is not a decision that I came to easily. Indeed, it has been difficult beyond words because I have looked forward to working with so many of you to advance the commitment to academic excellence that has propelled this great university across centuries," she said. I think she plagiarized that. I think I've heard that resignation statement before. She plagiarized till the very end.
Yeah.
That was Richard Nixon's resignation statement.
Yeah.
She stole that from Richard Nixon.
Yeah.
Wow, President Gay.
Yeah.
I'm calling for your... Well, you're already resigning.
Your resignation.
I'm calling for... It'd be hilarious if she like copied and pasted her resignation.
Yeah.
That'd be... dude, how legendary would that be?
Yeah,
if she did it on... Like, that's what I would do. Because if I'm already going to resign...
Yeah.
That's a big middle finger. Like, I would take someone else's resignation. You know what I would do? My only statement would be, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
I would just quote someone else's, about face.
Yeah.
Or what's the other word for about face? You know what I'm talking about?
Not totally
It's a
sure.
French term. It means like
persona.
It means to like it's not apologize. It's like a French term for like apologizing for something embarrassing.
Yeah.
Faux de gras. No, that's steak, right?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Anyway.
I know fogo de chao is steak.
Fogo de chao.
I will give my fogo de chao.
I will give my coup de gras. That sounds like a food, but it's actually a coup. But after consultation with members of the corporation, okay, here's the thing. Harvard is and people have already said this on Twitter, but Harvard is a hedge fund with a university attached to it.
Yeah.
Their endowment, we looked at Harvard's endowment, it's like $50 billion.
Yeah.
And she even says it's a corporation. So it's like, it's a private university. Here's what I don't understand about academia, elite academia.
Yeah.
It's a private university. Doesn't that mean it's for profit?
Yes.
So it's, are there share? So, but then and this is the same thing with Harvard, OpenAI.
Yeah.
People are getting very rich at these institutions, right? There's a lot of money involved.
Yeah.
But it's like a nonprofit, but they say they're private and they call it a corporation.
Yeah.
But there's not shareholders. So it's like, is this all just like, and then there's a board of directors,
Yeah.
and they don't call it stakeholders. They use the word stakeholder.
Yeah.
If you're using the word stakeholder, you're committing genocide.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, do you know what I'm talking about? Like, what's,
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of dissonance.
Yeah. Pretty much every nonprofit squanders whatever money they're donated, even if it's like innocent ways. Like I used to work for a zoo, and there was like rumors going around that
What zoo? San Diego Zoo?
Yeah.
You don't have to, I don't want to dox you. I can bleep that out.
I mean, that was a job I worked at like 10 years ago. I don't know. I mean, maybe the heads come from me or not. But I guess if we're...
So do you not want to call it out? Or are you fine with it?
I mean, I guess, well, I mean, I wouldn't know until afterwards. Like, if I called it out and nothing happened, then I wouldn't care if I called it out. But if I call it out...
But it was the Atlanta Zoo.
So they were given a bunch of money to like build an exhibit, and I heard that they took some of that money to like also like redo their parking lot. So that's like a way that, you know, if you're going to donate to a zoo, are you going to perform an audit yourself to make sure that they're using all of your money just for a tiger exhibit? Or, you know, like, oh, well, you used it to, you know, repaint the parking, you know, the lines in the parking lot, you know, how dare you, you know, like
that. And there are watchdogs, nonprofit watchdogs that are supposed to do that.
Yeah.
But those are who watches the watchdogs?
Yeah.
Aren't those watchdogs also nonprofits? Right?
Probably.
And Bill Gates has a foundation, and he's buying farmland in the foundation.
Yeah.
Through the foundation, he's buying farmland. It's all, I mean, there's a whole nonprofit industrial complex.
Yeah.
That I hope to be a part of someday.
Well, I guess Eisenhower didn't talk enough about the nonprofit industrial complex.
Yeah, now I am become a nonprofit, just destroyer of capital.
Yeah. Yeah, all I know is that we were selling like children's hot dogs for $14, and I'm like, there's no way we're not making money on this.
Yeah. Well, and it's like it's still a business. It's just a business that doesn't. The only difference is it's just a business that doesn't return capital to the. There's no shareholders.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you still have it's still money. You still have fucking money.
Yeah.
And like nonprofits still have an outsized influence, politically speaking.
Yeah.
And then there's political nonprofits, and there's universities that are like state run. Like it's a private university, so it's. Anyway, it's all very like it gets very murky.
Yeah.
It gets very murky because President Gay has a lot of power as the Harvard president. It's a very big job.
Not anymore.
But she used check.com. Could you imagine your whole career's ruined because you used check.com?
Check, yeah.
She's like, look, I admitted I used. I want to know. Let's keep reading. I want to know if she still denies that she plagiarized it. Oh, she does. So here's another passage. So the Harvard Corporation did an independent review of her work, and she despite additional claims of plagiarism, apparently she's standing by the integrity of her scholarship. So I mean, the big thing, the big part of the story that I think people are focusing on is Bill Ackman, you know, the hedge fund partner, basically went on a fucking mission to get her fired.
Yeah.
Because Bill Ackman, I guess, was disgusted with the reaction of the presidents to the congresswoman.
Yeah.
So I think Bill Ackman saw what happened and was like, how are you not able to condemn genocidal speech?
Yeah.
You know? And so he got President Gay fired. He basically went on a tear on Twitter, just like constantly trying to investigate her.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's I don't really know what to make of it because I think a lot of like, you know, there's this whole like it's complicated because you have a lot of components. Number one, you have the venue. You're talking about the speech on a private, and this is why I bring up what is it a private university? Is it a state-run university?
Yeah.
On a private university's campus, they can dictate the rules.
Yeah.
Like if I go onto McDonald's property and I go, I want to gas the Jews.
Yeah.
that McDonald's would be like, you're not going to say that on our property.
Yeah.
And although McDonald's being a multinational corporation would be like, would you like fries with that?
Yeah.
I'd be like, go to McDonald's. Like they wouldn't give a fuck. Like they want to make money. They'd be, they'd be like, I'd be like, look, I think I would be like, the Holocaust didn't happen, but I wish it did. And they'd be like, but would you like a medium or a large soda?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, large, please, large. But if I'm not, the Holocaust, of course happened, but it doesn't mean that you should not be allowed to say that it didn't. I believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like fucked up, but it's like, I'm an artist. I'm radically pro free speech. You're wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't think it helps us as a free and open society to censor people's thoughts or censor what they say.
Yeah.
In public. On a private university campus, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
If you go to Harvard, but then but you have a lot of components. You have a lot of different things that are like, and this is not just about Harvard. This is about like our whole culture.
Yeah.
Corporations, discourse, there's a lot of competing ideas here where, Harvard is the university, the concept of a university is it's a bastion for free speech.
Yeah.
Researching and the pursuit of knowledge without bias.
Yeah.
And the only place you can do that now is Sean Show.
Yeah. Sean Show.
I'm going to start a university too.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is starting. Why can't I start a university?
Yeah, I think that they have the University of Austin, which like some of the Daily Wire people are a part of.
Jordan Peterson is involved somehow.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson's going to do a course at the University of Austin.
Yeah.
On like what? Men are pussies now.
Yeah.
Men are so sheltered.
Yeah. They'll have a nice lobster restaurant.
They have a nice and like just a room where you can just do any drug you want to.
Yeah.
I think the University of Austin's interesting, and it's like, I believe that any private company can dictate how they want to run it.
Yeah.
And what's exhausting to me about the public is they actually believe the lies that these institutions tell them.
Yeah.
Like whether it be Twitter, Harvard University, any Ivy League university, when they advertise, we're a town square. We are a place where you can say whatever you want and you won't be arrested. That's,
Yeah.
you have free speech. The public goes, yeah, you're fucking retarded.
Yeah.
YouTube, same thing with YouTube.
Yeah.
Spotify, but it's like Twitter is not a fucking town square.
Yeah.
And that's what they advertise themselves as. Elon Musk says it's the new Center for Free Speech. It's not. It's a company with shareholders.
Yeah.
And hey, if Twitter censoring people is more profitable, I want that.
Yeah.
As a shareholder.
Yeah.
I want it to be more censored if it's going to make me more money.
Yeah.
If it's going to be more advertiser friendly, kick off whoever you want for Twitter. I don't give a fuck. The fact that we live in a society where Twitter is the venue where governments tweet and corporations tweet, they have to go through Twitter, is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
There's only one site that doesn't censor things that you post. So there's only one bastion of free speech left, and it's World Star Hip Hop.
Twitter used to be a place where I can watch people die.
Yeah.
And now what am I going to do? How am I going to watch people die? No, there actually are accounts on Twitter that are like a lot of snuff videos.
Yeah.
Where is snuff those actually no, it's not. Snuff is like sexual, right? I've never watched a snuff video. If it's
I think it's sexual and death. I think snuff is like the combination of those two.
Like it's like really fucked up shit. Isn't it like they film sex and then they kill?
Like
I've never seen it.
A lot of people forget that like Two Girls, One Cup was a porn. That was supposed to be a porn and not just a video that freaked everybody out.
Like it was just supposed to be kinky porn.
Yeah. The guy who directed it. It was supposed to be like a fetish film.
Oh, okay. And it became
a very viral, like, dude, look at this. And it just scarred a whole generation of people. Personally, I've never seen it.
We're the only two people that haven't seen it.
The only podcast with two white men where neither of us have seen. Two guys, no eyes.
2 guys, 4 eyes.
Yeah.
2 guys, 4 eyes, no cups.
No cups.
I don't know. I mean, it's obviously obviously the truth is in the gray area. The truth is somewhere in between.
Yeah.
You can't have fully unregulated platforms where people can post child porn. You need some regulation.
Yeah.
You need some law and order.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to when it comes to just content is another conversation.
Yeah.
When it comes to a university like Harvard and it comes to speech, I think the university presidents were coming from a good place. They really fucked up.
Yeah.
Like they were smirking. They looked anti-Semitic as fuck.
Yeah.
But the rationale I think behind their smirk was not like, oh, we're evil. Like,
Yeah.
we know what we're doing. They're smirking because their academic elitism is their egos are so fucking big.
Yeah.
That they lost sight of the optics of what they were doing. And they're smirking because what they were thinking, in my opinion, I think what they were thinking was, this dumb bitch doesn't know that this dumb bitch doesn't know what free speech is. You know what I mean?
I have a more like sinister outlook. I think that they were smirking like, oh, like this is a waste of my time. Like I have so much power. Like my job's so locked in. Like this is all just a big show or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that the reason why they each gave like the same answer is because they thought that they would kind of be exonerated if they gave that kind of an answer, if they gave like a context
chess.
thing.
Yeah. It's like a chess game.
Yeah.
And they're all lockstep,
Yeah.
just like the Nazis.
Yeah.
Coincidence? Coincidence? No, it's not a coincidence.
Yeah.
President Gay, if you saw that in that salute, she actually hailed Hitler. They're like, do you condemn genocidal speech? Is calling for the genocide of Jews bullying? And she was like, it depends on the context. Also, I love Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
I think he made a lot of good points. You know who needs to be interviewed by Congress? Kanye West.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I love Hitler. He literally said that on Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah. He had
The net and yacht.
yeah, he had a net and then Yoo-hoo milk. And it was supposed to be net and Yoo-hoo.
Dude, the Alex Jones Kanye West episode is a crack cocaine simulator.
Yeah.
If you watch all 3 hours, on hour 2, you'll be like, I'm on crack right now. I feel like I'm on crack. It's so crazy, dude.
Yeah. And all it took was Jonah Hill for Kanye to fall in love with the Jews again.
I still think he has that one song where he goes
I don't know any Kanye songs.
Oh, really? In Flashing Lights.
Gold Digger.
In Flashing Lights, Kanye West goes, I hate these N-words more than a Nazi. That's one of his lyrics.
Huh.
These N-words got me. I hate these N-words more than the Nazis.
So you think
So he didn't hate
N-words is Jews?
No.
Because he's saying he hates them more than the Nazis.
But he wasn't talking about the Jews. I think he was talking about his haters.
Oh.
Which a lot of our...
Probably Jews at this point.
The haters are the CEO of JP Morgan.
Well, it's like everything's like dog whistles and like not in your face unless you're asking about the genocide of the Jews, in which case people are like, oh, well, it's the context.
Yeah. No, there is a lot of it's just there's a lot of insanity around the whole. And can we also like, I don't like Harvard. I don't like these universities. I've always hated Ivy League academia. I know people that went to Harvard.
Yeah.
They're guys that look exactly like me. They're rich trust fund fucking douchebags that work in private credit at KKR. And most of my listeners don't even know what any of those words are.
Yeah.
You're in a whole other universe. You're at Wendy's overdosing.
Me included.
My listeners they're at Wendy's overdosing on a fucking fentanyl, eating an extra large Wendy's milkshake.
Yeah.
And like I'm talking about like my friends that work in private credit in private equity at KKR, structuring debt deals for commercial real estate. And and you think that like you have a chance in the world. Like literally, that's what America's come down to. It's the haves. It's always been the haves and the have-nots. It's the have-nots, you know, that like take their kids to laser tag and are about to like run out of credit card. They're in like $10,000 of credit card debt, and they're addicted to drugs, and they take their stupid kids to laser tag. And then there's the guys that walk by the laser tag that work in private equity, you know, that are going to buy the laser tag facility and shut it down. And that's what America is. And is that good or bad? It's good.
Again,
It's
depending
good.
on what side I'm on. If I end up on the private equity side, I'm going to say that's fantastic. But
yeah, I mean, it's whether or not it's good or bad. You have to ask yourself, well, who in this situation is Jewish?
yeah,
And it's the laser tag mom. Actually, she's failing because of statements, because of Harvard's inability to condemn genocide. I don't know. I mean.
well, I think just the integrity of all education is like so like gone down the toilet. Like there's kids in high school where they've missed half the classes but still get a C and they pass. And then the colleges, it's just all a scam to make people take loans that they can't pay back, and then they pay for something that, and then these degrees are never going to make any amount of money close to what they owe.
Yeah, it's dude. You just reminded me. Oh man, I want to fucking murder this guy, dude.
Yeah.
I had a professor in aerospace engineering. His name was I won't say his name. I don't want to dox him or anything. I don't want him to die. But this motherfucker, dude. I hated him so much.
Yeah.
Because I had like a 2.9 GPA.
Yeah.
And this goes to your point, which is that like the thing is, academia has always been a sham.
Yeah.
But now I think we're waking up to how much of a sham it really is.
Yeah.
I had like a horrible GPA, and it stressed me out. And like when you go to college, your GPA becomes your identity. Because if you have a low GPA, everyone around you tells you, oh, you have a low GPA, you're fucked. You're not going to get a job, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like so paranoid about that. And it became my like singular mission to get my GPA up. And I was a senior in aerospace engineering. And I got like a C in my like senior project class.
Yeah.
And I go talk to my professor. I'm like, can you explain the C? Like, can you explain why I got the C? And he was like, I can't explain it. I just gave you a C. And I was like, I have a 2.9. You just brought me down to like a 2.7 GPA. What can I do differently next quarter to get an A? And then he was like, oh, well, you could show more effort. You could put more effort in. And I like really sucked this guy's dick. I like really tried and I got a C. I was shocked.
Yeah.
And that guy gave me an A the next semester. And he promised me something. He goes, if you get an A in the following quarter, I'll change your other C to an A. Yeah. And so
he'll retroactively.
He said he was going to retroactively change my grade. And I was like, that's a deal. And I hustled and I fucking got that A. And he never changed my fucking C. He never changed it. I emailed him like 3 times. He never changed my grade. And I wanted to like literally rip his fucking throat out. I was so fucking, when you actually are invested in academia, that's why people kill themselves.
Yeah.
I was like driven to my like absolute limit. And dude, it made me the Joker. He literally made me the Joker of engineering. I want to.
You put yourself in a straitjacket.
Dude, I wanted to bomb the aerospace engineering.
Yeah.
I wanted to bomb his office.
Yeah, here's the cosine curve of my scars.
Yeah. It's a little sine waves coming off of my face.
Yeah.
I have like an integral tattoo,
Yeah.
a triple integral tattoo, and people think it's like, is that like Satanist? It's like, no, it's an angular integral.
Yeah.
It's a line integral.
Yeah.
And I want to like go. I should have like gone to his office, like bloody,
Yeah.
just like bleeding for no reason, and like freak him out, and been like, I'd be like, doctor, you want to know where I got these scars? I was thinking while I was working on the propulsion presentation for next week, and I just have a question. How about another problem set, doctor?
If a missile leaves my house at 8:30 in the morning and it's traveling to your address,
if I hired 5 men to kill you for $4,000, and each of them got an equal amount of pay, And I promised all of them that if they got the job done, I would pay them an extra $4,000, and I didn't. What do you think would happen to me? A man that backs down on his promises. I like it's all a lie. It's all bullshit. And then he said, then when I got my degree, I was just like, this is just everyone knows college is stupid.
Yeah.
Everyone knows this shit, but then we give them so much attention.
Yeah.
And it's not a meritocracy. We're sold a lie. Everyone that gets into Harvard, most people that get into Harvard were going to get in because it was a plan before they were born.
Yeah.
You know? I didn't even know what Harvard was when I was applying for college. I want to get into UC Berkeley. That was my dream school, UC Berkeley.
Where'd you go?
Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Slow. Cal Poly slow. The worst state school. It's the best state school in California, which makes it the worst.
Yeah.
If you going to the best state school in California is like being like the guy who's like on meth that's like most put together. It's like the most put together meth addict.
Yeah. I went to UC San Diego.
All right, don't brag.
We have very different college experiences because mine were all psych classes.
You went to UC San Diego.
Yeah, for
Did
psychology.
you cheat? Did you plagiarize at UC San Diego?
I definitely cheated in 2020 because COVID canceled my calculus final. So if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have graduated with a Bachelor of Science. I probably would have had to switch to Bachelor of Arts.
You're kidding? Because you were not prepared for the final?
No, it was getting to the point where it was like, okay, like I can't do this like math anymore. I was also like still like into comedy. It was like I would like really have to study, and like I don't want to put the time in.
I know what you mean, dude. Well,
Yeah.
that's a lot of college is like realizing halfway through that you don't care about any of it, and having to just like grit your teeth and fucking do it anyway, and spend a bunch of money for it. And I think that's why people get depressed.
Yeah.
And then you get the degree and you're like, I don't even know what to do with my life. I have no friends. I'm not describing me. I'm very popular. I'm not describing me.
I was just like 4 years older than like everybody else. And like just with that, it almost seemed like there was like a whole generational gap. Like I had a hard time just talking with general people, but just like comedy was my social circle.
Right.
And so I wasn't wanting to make like a social circle or like study groups or anything like that. And then for my second quarter, it was like all online. And basically, when 2020 happened, COVID and all that, they switched to all Zoom classes, and they didn't have the infrastructure yet to like make sure people were cheating or not. So what they ended up doing, and they didn't tell us this till afterwards, is that they made the test especially difficult. So that way, if a bunch of people got A's on it, they would know people cheated. So
No way.
Yeah. So
I hate college. That's so evil.
So
it's mind games. It's evil mind games.
So because it was online, what they let students do is that they made it pass, no pass, which for people that don't know what that is, basically if you make it pass, no pass, if you get a passing grade in the class, they'll say that you like passed that class, but it won't affect your GPA at all.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, the move is obviously do it pass, no pass,
Right.
cheat to get a D.
Yeah. Cheat. Yeah.
They're not, dude, if you leave answers blank on your test, they're not going to see if you cheated on the other ones.
That's so, dude, you should have left all of them blank except the last question that's like an unsolved math problem.
Yeah.
Like it's like an open problem in math.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
just solve that one and all the rest are blank.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I would put it into a symbolic calculator where like it spells out every single step.
I love that shit, dude. Check. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like basically check.
And if I didn't know how to do it, I would just leave it blank. I'm like, look, all I need is like a D in this class. It'll be pass, no pass. It won't affect my GPA.
Yeah.
All these other people were given an inch. They were trying to take a mile. They were trying to like boost their GPA, get an A in the class.
Right.
And then they were all like caught cheating. I'm like, you idiots. We were given this like golden opportunity.
Yeah. But people get greedy. People get very greedy
100%,
when
yeah.
they see an opportunity. No, it's again, and that's the point is like college teaches you to cheat. Well, President Gay, if you ascend to the presidential office of Harvard,
Yeah.
you are very, very good at cheating.
Yeah.
And now she's paying for it.
Yeah.
But the reality is, when you write a paper, I want to get rid of this idea I reject this idea that like writing a paper gives you prestige.
Yeah.
Who read this bitch's papers?
Yeah.
What'd she write? What did she research? People who write PhD. I saw this really funny tweet. It was like, when you write a paper, it's like starting a band. You like have a friend in academia and like, hey, you want to write a paper together? It's like starting a shitty indie band.
Yeah.
And you write a paper and then what? 4 people read it. Okay. Now what now? You write another one? How many academic papers have been written that have never been read?
Dude, I would put like my papers through their like plagiarism checker. And it would be like, I would be like writing a paper on psychology, and then it would be like, oh, well, you stole this section from like 10 best uses for avocados. It would be like something like totally irrelevant, but the checker would like pick up that like one sentence was the same.
To be fair, your paper was called Psychological Analysis of Avocado Lovers. So maybe it was plagiarism. Maybe you were doing that.
Yeah.
No, but so much of academia is just, it's people they create work for themselves.
Yeah.
And then they do that work to like create a false sense of fulfillment in their life.
Yeah.
When ultimately what a lot of people in academia want is they covet power.
Yeah.
And they want power, they want to manage other people, and they want the prestige of a Harvard.
Yeah.
They want to slap a logo on their chest and they want to say, this is who I am. And you respect me because you know Harvard? Better put some respect on my name.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to take a bunch of culture, like classes about culture. Did you have to take any classes like that?
No.
Yeah, I had to watch the Nanette special and like write about
class?
It at home.
That was like a part of your class was watching a Nanette special?
Yeah, I had to watch
no
the
way,
Nanette.
that was an assignment? That was an assignment?
Yeah. It was an assignment, and in class I had to watch Beyonce's Lemonade.
Wait, well, how does that go again?
I have no idea. I've forgotten.
That song fucking slaps.
I'm like a metalhead.
Me too, but Lemonade is great.
I don't follow, dude. I don't
Is she
know.
like twerking and shit?
I honestly couldn't tell you. It was like when she like headline Coachella. Yeah, and she's like like the first, I think like the first like female headliner, like female black headliner.
Wow. So you watched Nanette. You watched Nanette in a college course as an assignment, and how was it?
Oh, complete trash. I can tell you, like I remember exactly what I was doing. I watched it with my buddy Kit. We were drinking these coconut porters by Ballast Point. Normally, I love porters. Normally, coconut flavor is dope, but for some reason, this combination made it taste like shit. So I was drinking this awful beer,
like cum.
Yeah, I wouldn't say cum because I have no point of reference. But
very smart, Andrew. You almost fell for my trap. Actually, that makes you gay that you've never tasted your own cum. That makes you gay. Because that means someone's chick has sucked your dick and then you've never kissed her afterwards.
I make him drink water at least before I go back to kissing him.
Really? I don't care. Chick will suck my dick. And then I'll be like, now my turn. And I suck my dick.
Let me show you how a man would do it.
She'll be doing it. And I'll be like, you're not doing it right. I'll get really mad. Like, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
And I'll do it. You were saying, so you're watching Nanette, you're drinking coconut
porter by Ballast Point with my best friend Kit, and the special was awful. I love Ballast Point, but this beer I did not like at all.
Okay.
I was like, kill me now. This is horrendous because like in the Nanette special, she's like talking about like all the like adversity that she like went through growing up, and that's like why I had to watch it. But then she would talk like her punchlines were just like very cheap. Like I think that she would have like a good premise and then like resort to like jizz as a punchline.
Okay.
You know, so it was like, well, there's like more you can do about that, but what wasn't funny and it was all clapter.
Yeah. So you had to watch Nanette as a part of like a college assignment. You know, it'd be very funny is if people start assigning Matt Rife special as homework.
That's what I'm saying. And also like in the 80s, did they have to watch AC/DC? You know what I mean? Like you had to do a study on Metallica.
That's like the teacher that wants to be cool and thinks they're like connected with like what the kids like.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I'll make my lesson engaging by assigning something that maybe they already are interested in.
Yeah.
But then like they assign Nanette and you're like, bitch, you're fucking high. And like, you know, I would, if I was a college professor, I'd be assigning Matt Rife. You know,
dude,
and then you come back, you write a report. You're like, I learned that when women can't cook, they get hit in the eye. Hit it. Wow.
Shit.
Right at the punchline.
When women can't cook, they get hit in the eye is what you meant to say.
That's what I meant to say.
But I had to take this human sexuality course, and I didn't know it was a serious class. They gave us this like worksheet of like people describing orgasms, and we had to guess like whether it was like male or female.
Oh God!
And so I was like, oh, clearly this isn't like getting graded. So I just bullshitted it. I got a 7 out of 10 on it. I'm like, wait a minute, this is going towards my GPA. And then the professor. And then
which ones did you get wrong?
Oh, I
You
couldn't
just
tell
randomly put male, female.
Well, like a part of the thing, like somebody would be like describing an orgasm and it would say throbbing. So then we would all think it's a guy. And then it was like it was a girl describing her like orgasm as like throbbing, and like I just like got that wrong, and like that affected my grade in the class,
and affected your that actually affected your overall competitiveness in the job market.
Yeah, if you really want to think about it, and then
that's why you need to know how to make a woman come.
Yeah,
because you won't get a job.
Yeah. And then to get extra credit, she's like, oh, well, the school's like playing this like video about like how they treat like missing black kids different than missing white kids. So you can watch that for extra credit. And I'm like, well, but what does that have to do with human sexuality?
Well, she's a pedophile.
Yeah.
See, when I kidnap a kid and rape a white kid, everyone cares. But if it's a black kid, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Write me a 3-page essay.
Yeah.
On why it's better to rape white kids.
Yeah. Then there was a group on campus called NASA. That was like the Native American Student Association. And I was like so mad. I thought like the actual space program was coming to talk to.
That's the first time Native Americans did cultural appropriation of white culture.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Hey, pick a side.
Yeah.
Hey, NASA, you cannot be. That's so fucked up, bro. Native American Student Association.
Yeah.
And they come to speak. You show up. You're like, what is it? You see headdresses. You're like, what is this shit? I wanted to see the Challenger rocket explode.
Yeah.
No, and like a very common observation amongst people these days is that the liberal media and the liberal ideology has infiltrated the universities.
Yeah.
And, you know, based on those stories, a lot of people could think, oh man, the universities used to have integrity, and now liberals have ruined them. And I think that there's like, it feels right, that feels true, but I don't necessarily know if that's the case. I don't think that's fully true.
Yeah.
Like it's like they're like, oh, universities got woke, corporations got woke. It's not. It's just that they are in. It's a symptom. It's a symptom of a cause. I don't think that the university's being woke. Sure, that has repercussions.
Yeah.
Doing classes where you have to describe, like, is this a female orgasm or a male orgasm, and that like matters. Like that's like a lesson.
And cost me thousands of dollars.
Yeah. I mean, that's
and then
most expensive orgasm ever.
Yeah.
Did you go and like use that information ever?
Not from that class. There's like a few classes like that evolutionary psychology class where it's like, okay, well, this is like actually
that
useful information. I took like a psychology of sleep class that like helped me develop like a better, sleep schedule and how to like fall asleep better and
right.
Yeah.
And you did another class on like how to make her come, and you failed that.
Yeah. I failed the cum class.
I failed that one too.
Yeah.
Female orgasms 205.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. Like you're taking that class and you're like, hey man, like, what'd you get for number 3?
Yeah.
Like where's like, is it like up and down or left and right?
We did study the Challenger explosion. So like, I know like kind of how that went down. It was all group think and all like, well, the bosses want to see the rocket go up. So we got to send it up, even though like they knew that there were problems with the seals, like containing the fuel. So like
the O-ring seals.
Yeah. They were like, well, it's too cold. Like we can't send this right now. We're probably going to have an issue. But they were like, the news is gonna do it. There's pressure. Send it, and then it exploded. So like they knew that there was a couple people that were like, we can't send this thing up.
Well, I think like I like to be optimistic. Like to me, I look at that as a success.
Yeah, because they were right about their claim. They're like, see, I told you.
To me, the Challenger rocket exploding is a success in many, many ways.
Yeah.
It furthered our understanding of groupthink in psychology,
Yeah.
like you said.
If you don't like academia, it blew up a couple teachers.
It killed woke teachers. It killed a bunch of woke. Hey, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
If you think academia is woke, you got to be happy that the Challenger rocket exploded. It destroyed the leaders of the woke. They were a bunch of middle school teachers, and they were woke. And that was, a lot of people don't agree with me when I say this, but the Challenger rocket was an inside job, and it was a success. Bush did the Challenger rocket explosion. He did it. Was he?
Yeah.
Who was president when the Challenger rocket exploded?
I think it was Reagan. If it was the 80s.
Was it that long ago?
Oh yeah.
Damn. And that was the last commercial. That was the last like people to die in space. And well, they didn't even make it to space.
Yeah, I think that's the last time that they put like civilians in a spacecraft.
Is NASA woke? That's a question. Are rockets, is that if all these other smart institutions have been infiltrated by the woke mob,
Yeah.
is NASA woke?
I do think rockets are woke because they're only targeting brown kids.
That's anti-woke, dude. They're killing BIPOCs. I really think also NASA, I mean NASA makes but NASA doesn't make the weapons. I don't think, or maybe, I mean, they're probably involved somehow. They make the same tech. They research the technology that is then co-opted to make weapons better. Yeah. When I went to NASA, I realized my trip to NASA, I realized it was woke. I got there, I was like, I was like, how do I become an astronaut? And they're like, well, like, we're going to cut off your cock. Are you trans? I was like, what? I go up there. I'm like, can I apply to be an astronaut? Like, I'd love to go to space. I want to serve our country.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to the ISS someday. And they were like, what are your pronouns? And I was like, no. The woke mind virus destroyed NASA. But
that's probably next.
I don't know. I was being ironic, but I don't know. Maybe maybe NASA. I don't know. But it'll like, I feel like the pendulum is swinging back. But I don't know. I don't look at it. I think it's too simplistic to just say that the world has become woke. Like there are people that I think do have some pretty radical beliefs about gender and the idea of property ownership.
Yeah.
But this is not I don't know. Like, I think there's a lot of common ground. A lot of people have common ground. Most people don't want to send billions of dollars to Israel and Ukraine.
Yeah.
Most people are anti-interventionist. Most of the American public, whether you're woke or a redneck, you don't want your money going to the Ukraine.
Yeah.
You don't want your money going to Israel. You want that money, that taxpayer money, to be invested here, whether you believe in they, thems, or whether you want gays to be burned alive. We can all agree that American intervention is wrong, and that's what I'm running on. I'm running on that
American
platform.
intervention being wrong?
Yes. American interventionism is one of the biggest mistakes we ever made as a country. And unless it gets us more oil, then I'm not interested.
I was waiting for something.
If it gets us oil, strategic oil reserves, we go. And if it doesn't, then we don't go. And that's why we shouldn't have gotten involved in World War II.
Yeah, it's why it's why we switched off of nuclear energy, because then oil, we would be less dependent on it, and then we would have no reason to invade the Middle East.
Fuck, dude.
That's something I completely made up just off of the top of my ass.
That's bars, though.
Yeah.
That's bars. Andrew Jones. Andrew Conspiracy Theory Jones. Okay, well, let's do another news story and we'll get out of here. Honestly, it's kind of a slow news week. Andrew and I were looking through the news. Not much going on. Big
earthquake in Japan.
Big earthquake in Japan. We could talk about that.
Their ball dropped.
Breaking news. Japan being punished for watching hentai. They're being punished by God. They have an earthquake. And that's whenever Japan gets a natural disaster, gets hit by a natural disaster, I go, you guys shouldn't have made cartoons about tentacles infiltrating female holes. I go, I like it, but it's bad.
Were you the one telling me like why they do that?
No.
I think somebody was telling me because like they have like, you know, like all the Japanese porn, like it's blurred. They have like different like regulations if it's like an actual penis going into a vagina rather than a tentacle. And that's
no
why they have
way.
all the hentai.
Big government ruins another goddamn industry.
I forget who was telling me that, but yeah, somebody was like, yeah, because, you know, their stuff has to be blurred. There's like more restrictions of it being like an actual phallic objects. And that's why they have like all this like tentacle porn now. And that's definitely like a case of like the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Like you tried to make your society more like
clean,
proper, clean. And now it got dirty in ways you never thought it could.
Yeah. They're like, you know, we're not going to, yeah, we're going to blur vaginal penetration because that's dirty.
Yeah.
But when it comes to an aquatic animal infiltrating a woman, it's fine.
Yeah.
But it gave us, okay, I mean, you know, that's why I lean liberal, guys. If I'm being real, if you want to know my real bias, I lean a little bit liberal because big government gave us hentai.
Because big government
gave us hentai. And if you don't know, I mean, I learned this from Andrew today, my great new producer, permanent new producer.
Yeah.
You're hired. You want to do my show forever? I'm firing Josh.
I'm in.
Okay. You can do the Patreons. If you want.
Hell yeah.
No, I'm joking. I love Josh. He'll be back.
Not if I can help
it. If Josh like disappears mysteriously. How about if Josh disappears mysteriously? I'll give you the job. Do with that information what you will.
Yeah.
No, big earthquake in Japan. Could you look it up? Let's see if there's any reporting on it. I mean, I've heard a lot of people are like under the rubble and shit. It's very sad. It's and it happens a lot. I mean, you know, Japan being an island nation has to deal with these sorts of disasters more often than other countries. Powerful earthquake hits Japan, and officials warn of aftershocks. Collapsed buildings, people being trapped underneath them. The quake disrupted electricity and phone service. And many were left without the ability to watch hentai. Very sad.
Yeah, that's what happens when electricity goes away.
Yeah, the electricity went out. All the Japanese guys are like, oh no. I really should not have done that voice. Or I should have done it even more convincingly. I'm trying to double down.
Yeah.
I got to double down. My friend watches the show. Shout out to Ian. What's up, Ian?
2024 is the year doubling down.
2024, we're doubling down. We're doing Asian accents. 2024, it's Asian accents. Fuck you, pay me. But in a tasteful way. Tasteful Asian accent.
Yeah.
A powerful earthquake struck Western Japan on Monday. Let's see here. The earthquake struck the Noto Peninsula at 4:10 p.m. Blah, blah, blah. The biggest waves were recorded. Do people surf waves that are created by earthquakes? Do you think there's like a surfer in Japan just waiting for an earthquake to surf a tsunami? Or are these waves just impossible to surf?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like if there was enough of an earthquake warning, somebody would do that. But I feel like that earthquakes happen like pretty quickly. Like they sense like some seismic activity, but like you never know when there's going to be like the big one.
It's not enough notice, right? You can't.
Yeah.
You can't just like The earthquake trapped people under collapsed buildings and disrupted electricity for tens of thousands in the Ishikawa prefecture. Medical workers in the port of Wajima were treating patients in a hospital parking lot. God damn it. Residents were warned that there were still a danger of landslides and building collapses from aftershocks. Bullet trains were halted. That's bad. Bullet trains being halted, dude.
Do you know what aftershocks are?
Yeah, like the smaller...
Yeah. It's kind of like when you make like your girl come and her legs still shake afterwards.
You're fired. I don't know what that's like. I never made a woman come. I don't know what that's like.
I apologize every time I do. Be like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, this never happens. I'd hate for you to think that.
You make your woman come and thousands die.
Yeah.
From the aftershocks. So, I mean, I don't know. There's not much to say. Like, it's just sad.
Very sad.
Like, I like Japan. It's sad for when people have to go through natural disasters. Well, which reminds me, a lot of natural disasters, people say that they're getting worse because of climate change.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that there's going to be like more climate disasters more frequently because of all the pollution that we're sending into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Or should I say the climate hoax? The climate hoax. It's a hoax is what it is. You know, people go, the climate's changing. I go, you're broke, bitch. You're a broke boy.
Yeah, I think what I heard, and I kind of agree with this, some of us think that the climate is changing, and some of us think if we paid enough in taxes that the climate would stop changing.
Yeah. I mean, I think the problem is unsolvable. I look at it beyond, because I do think it's happening.
I mean, remember acid rain? How that seemed like that was going to be like a big deal, and now we never hear about it.
Oh, that is true.
So like there's like some things that can be fixed, but like the problem I have with a lot of these climate activists is that, I mean, a big part of the solution is nuclear energy, and they just like glue their hands to like some floor of a car dealership, and or they like throw tomato paste on a painting or something, and somehow that's supposed to like provide a useful solution or something to fixing the climate.
Yeah, I mean, I would throw red paint on a painting just because it's fun. You know what I would do? Be like, these climate protesters, they're going over like these like really important cultural paintings and throwing red paint on them and be like, stop climate, divest from oil now.
Yeah.
Like, stop big oil now. I would do that. I'd have a big bucket of red paint. I'd throw it on the Mona Lisa and I'd be like, follow Sean Riley Comedy on Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you're against oil to where you're against oil paintings, like that's intense.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, come on. I mean, you're that against fossil fuels. Oil is responsible for every product because oil is transportation and oil is life. I use oil for lube. When I blow a load, blowing every female orgasm is the result of the fossil fuel industry. And people forget about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's vibrators, plastics, batteries, motors.
Yeah. You have that great joke about vibrators, right?
Yeah. I go over the whole supply chain of it and how women trying to come is killing the planet.
You do. Wow. I'm just stealing your entire act today. Fuck. You have a great joke about that.
Something else that people don't think about a lot is all synthetic caffeine is synthesized from the byproduct of petroleum products.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, say that again.
So
caffeine in Coca-Cola? For example?
Yeah, because
how?
I don't know how they do it chemically, but they do synthesize because it's a carbon-based product. They do synthesize it from like the byproduct of petroleum.
I support the fossil fuel industry.
Yeah.
I am in 100% of support of fossil fuels. I always have been. I always will be. I love coffee.
Yeah.
I love caffeine.
Well, coffee, that's a natural source. Coca-Cola originally tried doing decaf, like taking the caffeine that they would get from decaffeinated coffee, but there's obviously not a big enough decaffeinated coffee market to supply Coca-Cola.
Right.
So they have to make it synthetically, and that's a byproduct of petroleum products.
That is so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Synthetic caffeine comes from oil.
Yeah.
That's so fucking crazy.
And fertilizer. So like when they're like, oh, no more fossil fuels, like we have built so much just on top of fossil fuels.
Right.
People don't really know what they're talking about when they're like, oh yeah, let's get off it. It's like caffeine, that's a big one. Fertilizer, that's another big one.
Sexual lubricant.
That's a big one. Yeah.
You know what else is made of oil? My flesh.
Yeah.
My flesh is oil, and my body will be sent back to Chevron when I die.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. You know what I've thought about? Just something I've been thinking about. This is like when you criticize something, when you criticize child labor, when you criticize in a joke, or you criticize big company, big conglomerates polluting the world.
Yeah.
You know, like you make these, which is, by the way, very hack.
Yeah.
A lot of it's very like, all right, we know. And I do like making those jokes.
Yeah.
I like making fun of the military.
Yeah.
Because, hey, it's the reason it's popular to criticize the military is because what they do is horrific.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's hard. We're all desensitized. We're all jacking off to hentai. You know what I mean? We're all desensitized. We're all jacking off to hentai and swiping on Tinder, even though we'll never get a date. You know? But like, Raytheon blows up school buses of little children. They blow up school buses. They're weapons. So of course it's fun. It's fun to criticize that. But people do it so much that it becomes exhausting to hear about.
Yeah.
So I get that. So people go, oh, or like child labor.
Yeah.
Your phone was made by a kid. Your phone was made by a child, a slave child. Your phone was made by a human being that grew up and just got unlucky and is now a slave.
Yeah.
And works 18 hours a day and is malnourished and will probably be fucked up forever.
Yeah.
That's true. And when you say that stuff, my point is people have this clap back. They go, oh, you're criticizing slave labor. Interesting. While you're on an iPhone made by children. Seems like you use the product, but you're criticizing it. That's interesting. Maybe if you cared, you wouldn't use an iPhone. And then the clapback to that clapback is that meme that we've all seen.
Yeah.
Have you seen that meme where it's like the two guys in the medieval times, and one of them is going like, "We should improve society somewhat."
Yeah.
And then the other guy's like on his knees. He's like, "Oh, but you participate in society. Interesting."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess I'm setting all this up because I want to flip it again. Because it's like we're all hypocrites. I don't know. Like we're all hypocrites. Yes, I'm criticizing the weapons manufacturer. I'm criticizing the military while I own $12,000 of Palantir stock.
Yeah.
I'm a hypocrite. Doesn't mean what they do is not evil. You could criticize me. You could say I'm evil and you have a good point.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I can't criticize it and that here's the thing. I think climate change. A lot of people, they throw the paint on, they glue themselves to the road and they say divest from oil now.
Yeah.
But is activism boycotting, gluing yourself to the road? Does it even work?
I mean, I just think it takes a longer time, especially when you've built like structures over it. Before I get too off point, I think some child labor is good. Like if I go to a Mexican restaurant and there's like a 12-year-old person walking the cashier,
you know that's just about a slap.
Yeah, that's an authentic family-owned business. You know, but then there was that story of like that 10-year-old working like the drive-through of McDonald's in Iowa, and it's like, dude, how did that? You know how drunk you must have thought you were going through the drive-through and hearing a 10-year-old be like, I must be hammered right now. There's no way.
Okay, what else can I get you?
Yeah.
Okay, you told me 10:72 at the second window.
Yeah, because like I was just like in school and like totally aimless for so long. I think like job experience earlier. I didn't get my first job till I was 18. I think like just some more like real world, experience would have been good for me.
Delivering newspapers is child labor.
Yeah,
but it's not bad.
Yeah,
or we don't see it as bad.
And yeah, with like using the stuff like oh well, you own the phone and like it's owned by slaves. Like that's why. Like some people say like, oh, they would have been like opposed to slavery, like when it was going on. It's like, imagine if it wasn't just your phone, but it's like sugar and clothing. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
It's like basic goods or like a byproduct of that. Like it takes a long time to like, and obviously we want to shift away from it, but it's going to take a long time and all kinds of refiguring things out. And it's people go, oh, well, if it would it be all right? I would pay for a more expensive phone if it were made like, in the United States with like people who have healthcare and stuff like that. And it's like, well, you don't even like pay for Spotify to not have ads. So I'm not exactly sure that you're willing to fork up the few extra bucks for people to have some rights.
Yes. That's so true, dude. And honestly, I think kids make a better phone in China than some dumbass in Ohio would.
Yeah.
Some union redneck 45-year-old Republican loser is not going to make an iPhone as good as Xinping.
Yeah.
In China.
Yeah.
14-year-old, he's a League of Legends professional. He's going to be a pro League of Legends player, and he makes iPhones during the day. I want that kid's phone.
Yeah.
I don't want Dave Johnson, who phones it in and is on opiates the whole shift. And he makes 2 phones a shift.
Yeah.
You're fired. Where's the motivation?
Yeah.
I want more child labor. I'm a libertarian. Why can't all kids work? When I was a kid, I was legally not allowed to work.
You know what's crazy?
The law prevented me from working. That's wrong.
One of the only jobs children work is porn. We need to give them other ways to make money.
Yeah, if I can do porn, I can work at McDonald's. If I can suck a cock, I can swipe a credit card.
Yeah.
No, dude. There are like it's. I'm very like consenting. I'm all about. I love free markets.
Yeah,
but you do need some regulation because people abuse when you get fully unregulated. I think it does create abuse. But going back to your broader point, everything like people talk about conflict minerals.
Yeah,
everything is this whole podcast is a conflict podcast.
Yeah,
everything around us is the product of conflict. So like, where do you draw the line? This microphone was probably made by a kid. Shout out to the Shure SM.
Probably, yeah.
Shout out to the Shure family.
Yeah,
Shure SM7Bs are fantastic.
Yeah.
Data centers create carbon emissions. When you upload the podcast, it creates carbon.
Yeah.
So that it's pollutive. Our show's pollutive.
Yeah.
The messages we're sending are bad. It's ideologically evil.
Yeah.
But, yet we do it. Yet I do it. And does that make me like,
I think New York Post just like posted that breathing also causes like carbon emissions.
Oh, I saw that.
It finally like came out, and it's like that's been like the ongoing joke.
It's retarded. Like, I believe that I do think that we are doing a lot of I believe that if I would like to go to nuclear and stop sending all this black smoke into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
I would love that. Nuclear, a bunch, and Vivek Ramaswamy, as annoying as he may be, I think has great energy policy.
Yeah.
Vivek in his energy policy, he was like, it's not just about one solution. Our United States, our our energy strategy is not just about divesting from oil and putting it in wind and solar. He wanted us to have an entire portfolio of solutions. And I think that makes a lot of sense. It's not just going to be solar. In his strategy, he goes that it's not just divest from oil and go to solar. It's continue to use oil, continue to use nuclear and solar, but make sure that everyone that has those jobs is a white man.
Yeah, yeah.
That's his policy, and I agree with it.
Yeah.
Vivek often said, I don't know how Vivek if you heard of the Great Replacement Theory, are you following Vivek at all?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't believe that, I don't care. Immigrants come into the country and they change the demographic makeup of the U.S.
Yeah.
If there are no white people in 100 years, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
If there are no brown, aren't we all going to be brown? Why? What is the psychology behind white people fearing that their race will be destroyed? And their culture, is it because they think that brown and black people have inferior cultures that are more violent and criminal?
I think
I don't want to like again.
Yeah.
That's a straw man, and I'm not trying to like. What's the honest idea? Like, what is the idea?
so. Those arguments definitely, I think, like get tossed around to like discredit just what happens when people who have different beliefs come to your country and they don't give them away. Not controversial one would be if somebody from the UK moved to the United States, they got to drive on the right side of the road.
Right.
Like you're not going to be able to keep like that tradition up. In the UK, also the age of consent is 16. When you move here, you got to give up banging 16-year-olds. You got to move it to 18. So like there's some
What's
things.
the big deal, innit? She's 16, innit?
Yeah.
Boy, innit? He's like in jail. He's like, I fucked a 16-year-old in my home country, innit?
Yeah. Like I think, what's his name? Yeah, Russell Brand. Like he had sex with 16-year-olds, and like his producers back in the day, like 10, 15 years ago, would like find 16-year-olds for him. But in the UK, that's legal. In the United States, that would make him a pedophile.
Right.
So like there's all kinds of like cultural things, and thankfully, like the United States is a much larger country. So if a few million people move in, like it's not going to do that much, but like, especially with like the Israel-Palestine conflict, everybody's saying like the Israelis like moved in. That's definitely like, you can't like you got to have harsher immigration things, because otherwise they move. And then once the democracy rule ends, you know, they go, well, you got to get off this land because now we outnumber you. We have more power than you now. They take over all your systems and stuff like that. And it's hard to do like a reparations thing. It's easy to be preventative about it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's, and I want to be like fair to both sides here, because it's like, culture, maybe I haven't thought enough about it, but culture just seems to be like so elusive and hard to define.
Yeah.
And like, well, I think it's about traditions and norms.
Yeah.
Driving on the right side of the road.
Yeah.
The idea of democracy.
Yeah.
I guess to me, it's like the whole thing is a lie. Every society is a lie, and it's a rebranding of like, I think that, you know, the US, the fact that we vote is a lie. I think we have a lot of power economically because our military is strong. And we have a lot of wealth.
Yeah.
Because we've had a culture of innovation in our country.
Yeah.
And you could argue that maybe that's because we have certain norms, and that like, yeah, I understand like if a bunch of immigrants come here from other countries and they have, maybe they don't have the same spirit of innovation that the people in the US do have. But look at Silicon Valley. I mean, like, you know, and I'm not trying, like, whatever. Like, I'm not trying to be fucking political. It's just, it's funny for Indian guy to say that white men are being replaced. Is that not funny? Vivek Ramaswamy is like, the great replacement theory is not some right-wing racist hoax. It's the platform of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Vivek, you're Indian.
Yeah. Well,
am I like, is that crazy?
Well, I mean, for the longest time, like the Democrat Party thought that they were always going to be in power, because they were like, oh, well, soon, like white people have like 40% of the population rather than like 60.
Yeah.
And then the rest will be, and they just thought of all minorities as a monolith. But now Trump has like more black support than any Republican, you know,
in history, right?
Yeah. It's the same with like, there's a lot of Mexicans for Trump now. So they're losing what they thought was going to be like their bread and butter.
Well, and that's why I'm saying that, like, I maybe it's because I have faith in human beings.
Yeah.
That like, I just think that like it's, I don't know. Like, I have faith in humans that like more people's not bad.
Yeah.
I don't think more people's bad. Now, when you give them outsized welfare, and you don't give the same welfare to people that already live here that are struggling,
yeah,
that is a valid complaint.
Yeah.
Like that, like if you're giving like flying them to New York and putting them up in housing,
yeah,
because they came from Venezuela, but you're not going to help Sally, who's on fentanyl.
Well, they're deporting the Venezuelans, and they really don't like Cubans because they tend to like, they're fleeing socialism, so they don't vote with like the Democrat Party. So they're like really trying to deport those guys. But everyone else, they're trying to get rid of.
dude. And it's like, yeah, that is funny. They're like they'll accept immigrants if they vote Democrat.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know, man. Voting to me, like, and again, maybe we can close it out with this. Trump is being, left off the ballot in Colorado and now Maine.
Yeah.
The state Supreme Courts of Colorado and Maine have ruled that Trump can't be on the ballot. And then this is obviously an issue that's going to rise to the federal Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Where it will be struck down immediately.
Yeah.
That better be 8-0. I don't think that's, or 9-0, whatever it is.
Some people are asking for the 3 justices that Trump put in there to recuse themselves because they're too close to the matter. So that's like the next argument that like people are pushing. So they want the Supreme Court to rule on the ruling, but without the justices that Trump put in there himself.
What a fucking joke, dude.
Yeah.
They're asked, again, a symptom. All of this nightmare of the mess that we've made is a symptom of the fact that our institutions are crumbling overall.
Yeah.
It's not like the Supreme Court is an unelected body of lifetime appointed politicians.
Yeah.
There's the idea that the federal Supreme Court is this objective body that interprets the Constitution with any sort of scholarly legal way.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me so mad, dude.
Yeah.
When people are like, I'm a legal scholar. I've studied the philosophy of law for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
I've applied the law. And I believe that when I interpret the Constitution, I will do it objectively, fairly, without bias.
Yeah.
You're a fucking politician.
Yeah.
And then they say this. And then they go, also, I want to tax corporations at a 90% rate. Like, okay, like, where's that in the Constitution?
Yeah.
But like, you go there, you're like, I want to interpret the Constitution objectively. Also, I believe that women should be able to get abortions at 8.5 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where did the founding fathers put that in there? In the fucking Bill of Rights, women have the right to abort a child at 8 months. I don't know. And I get that,
Yeah.
I'm not pro-life.
Yeah.
But
Unfortunately for political expediency and like political convenience, they're using the Supreme Court to make all these hard decisions that they don't themselves, that our legislative body doesn't want to like take a stance on because they're afraid to lose votes.
100%.
But like
they outsource it. They
Yeah.
outsource it to people that are appointed for life because they're lifetime appointed.
Yeah.
And they're protected by the law
Yeah.
that they wrote themselves, which is, it's like the U.S., we're not that different from North Korea. You see that meme of all the North Korean generals that award each other awards?
Yeah.
We have the same shit here. People look at North Korea like it's this like fucked up culture. And it's like, it is a dystopian nightmare there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But like, honestly, I don't think the U.S. is really that different.
I mean,
that's a tough argument.
Well, yeah, we'll disagree to disagree, I guess.
I'm hungry. I'm not hungry. I mean, I get hungry sometimes.
Yeah. Is that you pretending to be human?
I am a federal agent. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. I think we'll probably close it up. An hour and a half.
Yeah.
Happy New Year. Hope you're having a good New Year. Thanks for listening. Again, might be the last episode we do in the studio. It's either the last or the second to last.
Yeah.
All my camera shit's here. I literally have $5,000 of new equipment. You're going to be blown away by the new studio. We're going to do weekly Patreons. So if we're going to get back to doing weekly Patreons, I know that shout out to your boy Arox. I'm going to just message me, dude, and I'm talking to my one Patreon subscriber right now. Just DM me and like I'll just pay you like whatever you've been paying me monthly because I feel bad. But we're gonna get back to doing weekly episodes and doing some pretty dope guests on the Patreon. It's gonna be a bigger studio, sexier studio, a lot of cool shit happening this year. I'm on like 8 million comedy festivals, opening for all the hottest comedians in the world, in the universe. We out here.
Shit.
I guess in conclusion, we up.
We up is the new slogan of Austin.
Yeah. The new slogan of Austin is we up. And I just like to say that I go to the open mics here in Austin.
Yeah.
And I see all the open micers shooting fentanyl and murdering each other. And I go, we up, aren't we up?
Yeah. And like when I'm like texting women, I'm like, "Hey, you up?" And they're like, "No, we up." I'm like, "Hell yeah!"
Wow. All right. We'll end on that, guys. Sean Riley Comedy on Instagram, seanreillycomedy.com for all my tour dates. I just added Seattle and Birmingham. I'm all over the place. Austin, Dallas, Phoenix, Tampa, Birmingham, Seattle, San Diego. Come to a live show. And Andrew, where can people find you? Andrew just did a great weekend with Dustin Nickerson.
Yeah, I just opened for Dustin Nickerson in Indianapolis. Had a lot of fun shows for the New Year Eve. Don't know why I said it like that, but I'll be at
turned into radio. The people turn into radio voice at the end of shows. They go,
yeah.
They go, anyway, that's why I think the gays should kill themselves. Find me in They're like crazy podcasts. They're like, I'm in New Year's Eve. I'm in New York. And anyway.
Yeah.
So we're anything coming up? You want to plug?
I mean, I'm just at Cap City this weekend. And
Oh, with who?
Simon Fraser.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Simon Fraser's a great comic.
Yeah. And
Fuck
then
yeah, okay.
I'm at the Black Rabbit Comedy Club a lot. I'll be there mostly. In terms of the stuff out of town, I'm still waiting to hear back.
Okay. All right. Well, check out Andrew Tarr on Instagram, the Tar Pit on Instagram, link in the description. Tell guys, and lastly, if you like the show, tell your friends about the show. Most importantly, if you could just review it on Spotify, give it a little review on Spotify. It would help us reach more people. Again, for episode 21, this is the production value of an episode 100 show, I think. But we're on episode 21. So imagine where we'll be at episode 100. I'll probably be dead.
Shit.
I'm going to kill myself.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm going to kill myself. No.
Say it again.
I double down. I'm going to kill you and me. We dead. Hey, Andrew, we dead. Whole squad dead.
No, we down.
Yeah, we down. All right, guys. Happy New Year. That's it.
Ciao.
Bye.